I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. And may I say, good morning to a divided nation. To the left, I want to say, get a cup of coffee and stop being mad about these orange, illiterate, fat man blowhard, at least until lunch. And to the right, I want to say, turn off Fox News for at least enough time to finish eating your triple cheese, 6-egg omelet inside a fatback. And consider that Fox News itself claims to be an entertainment channel, not a news channel. Now, we Americans call that lying. Now, we're in a bad place in our country, where half the country knows the history of America and what it stands for, and half the country knows one amendment, the second. And they're fine with freedom of speech as long as they're talking.
Quiet, quiet, quiet.
Yeah, it's free speech until someone drops a fact, isn't it? Then it's, shut up, socialist! So what is the difference between an American and an American? Well, an American knows that this country was built on dissension and protest, and that a healthy exchange of ideas makes this country better. Teddy Roosevelt once said, patriotism means to stand by the country. It does not mean to stand by the president. An American thinks that them hippies, communists, and libtards need to suck on the end of my AR-15 if they don't like it.
Don't get that Obama. He's a piece of shit, and I told him to suck at my machine gun. Let's hear it for him.
Now, there's no way any president would allow a dude like that in the White House, right? Okay, there's one president that would allow a dude like that in the White House. An American knows that we are a country of immigrants. And as a matter of fact, unless your name is Flies with Eagles or Twerks with Antelope, your people aren't from here. An American knows that the Statue of Liberty was a gift to us because we are the most welcoming country in the world, or at least we were. And we also had the biggest economy because of immigrants. Eat an apple, thank a Mexican. Americans get it. Americans, by the way, think them brown people need to go back where they came from, stop taking our jobs, and fix their own shithole countries before you come to my country. You mean the country that your parents immigrated to just 2 generations ago? That's a weird flex, bro. Like the president's family, because Grandpa Trump left his country and came here because he didn't want to join the army. Then he tried to go back, and they wouldn't let him because he wouldn't join the army. So I guess draft dodging is just genetic in the Trump world. Now, Americans think our enemies should be punished for influencing American elections. Americans think that a pussy-grabbing, illiterate fat man who conspired with a foreign government is owning the libs. That's right. Be mad all you want, snowflakes.
Does the Russian government have any compromising material on President Trump or his family?
Americans think that evidence and research-based science will save the planet. Americans don't.
Yeah, I don't believe it. No, I don't believe it.
And a lot of those Americans hate science. Ironically, they're in the most need of dental science.
I love the poorly educated.
Yeah, Jesus took my teeth. It's God's will. And, well, then I did meth for a decade. Jesus made me do that too. Americans understand that trickle-down economics doesn't and has never worked. Americans vote against their own economic interests because they think that they're going to be rich. And until then, I'm just going to keep cashing in my food stamps. Americans love America and know that protesting America is just part of the deal. Americans think that Trump is ordained by God and God wanted him to raw dog that porn star. Americans know that 4 brown female congresswomen are speaking truth to power like they're supposed to. But Americans think that anyone that talks bad about America needs to be sent to another country. And these 4 American congresswomen, they're calling out the most corrupt, inept president in our history.
What I said, I don't remember.
Americans think these 4 women that ran for office, got elected, and have left their lives and their families to help fix this current cluster Trump we are living in, that they hate America because they criticize America. Yeah, Americans think this country is all mine. Americans think this country is all ours. Americans want brown children in camps, and Americans want them back with their families and immigration that works. Americans are afraid of Americans' problems, and Americans are inspired to conquer Americans' problems. Americans think that if you complain about America, you need to leave.
But this country is going to hell.
We're not a great country now. We're not a great country.
We're not great now. We've been let down by the politicians. They've made us a laughingstock. We have huge deficits. We have huge unemployment. We have a huge problem. And we're not respected. We're not respected in the world. The world laughs at us.
America, a more dangerous environment than, frankly, I have ever seen.
If you complain about America, you should get the hell out. I'll even chip in on the plane ticket. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Coming up next, Jay Mohr. Everybody, Titus Podcast, Christopher Titus here. I got to tell you that we did the Americans versus Americans. Again, please leave your misspelled comments under the video when you're angry, and we'll get to those. With me, as always, the lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people? And
people, can I tell you about the guests we have this week?
Please do.
So a lot of people think that you have comics on because you're friends with them. I didn't want this guy on because he's a friend. I want to have this guy on because, honestly, seriously, one of the most talented comics. Some people do impressions. They're known as impressionists. Some people are actors and known as actors. This prick can do all of it, and it's kind of irritating. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jay Mohr.
Yeah. I want you to speak at my funeral. This guy did it all.
You do. You
guys have this odd mutual respect for each other that is not often found in comedy.
Do you know?
Why is it odd though?
Because everybody's kind of shitty to each other in comedy. It seems
that's why they're in the middle.
I don't think so. Here's what I think. I think I've done this a long time. We've got 35 years in, somewhere around there. Yeah. Okay, so we've got a long time in. We started in when comedy was. I've been through 5 booms and busts of comedy. I like guys that are committed. So Jay is, if you guys know, and please go online and look it up. All the impressions you can do. A lot of guys would be known as an impressionist, and like certain guys are. Caliendo is known as an impressionist. Ari Spears. I'd never think of you. I just think you're one of the funniest comics I know. You're always. Great. Some guys can do impressions and they're good at that, and they make those impressions funny. He does comedy and just happens to toss in impressions. And I don't even want to talk about Walken because we've all seen you walking, but I was comparing it to other. I was doing a Walken comparison because everybody can do a Walken. You can do Christopher Walken a little bit. Try it.
Something about
exactly. We can all do a little. Everybody.
Private Wanaki.
Oh, one of my favorite monologues of all time. Not just a
words, Wanaki.
Yeah. But so I was just listening to you do it. I guess Robin Williams had done something very similar to the tail bit that you did.
Yeah, kind of lifted.
So there's a recording of Jay doing this story with Walken, and people go on and search it because it's not just an impression. Sometimes you can tell, that guy's doing. Oh, I get it. He's doing Walken. It sounds like because there's no video of it. There's just a recording. It fucking sounds like Walken is standing next to you.
Oh, good.
It's so close on Walken.
I like doing impressions of somebody if there's like a story that's attached that happened to me.
Right.
Like, I don't want to be like, this is what it would sound like if Al Pacino worked at Burger King. Who had a Whopper? We don't do Whopper Juniors here. Maybe he read the fucking sign wrong. You fucking child. So I only like doing like this, like when I met Christopher Walken, he asked me, how come your dog doesn't have a tail?
That's a legit story.
Yeah, they're all true stories.
I'd love that. That's
and
way
I think
better.
It's just like our jobs as comics to be dialed in and report back to people what actually has happened to us,
right?
Better or worse.
One of her, she's 10 years in now. We're about to film her first special. She's 10 years in the stand-up now, and got crossed that line. She kept asking.
Talking about comedy like it's jail.
I know.
You and me got 35 years in. She's 10 years in.
No. A blessing. Like we have.
She's 10 years in.
But now. You do know it's not. Look,
short timer.
Yeah, a little bit. She has no idea.
We
yet.
got letters on our sentence. Exactly. We got LWAP.
Like I'm getting a tear.
Yeah.
Just tattooed right here.
Covered up. We're like the Star Billy Sneetches.
Another Dr. Seuss reference. That's like this thing. So she's kept asking me, well, how do you get there faster? How do you get there faster? And I kept saying stage time. But the one thing, we'll be listening to Comedy Central Radio or something on Sirius when we're driving somewhere. And the one thing that bothers us the most is when a guy is telling a story that you can tell is not a story. He's using it as a device.
Yeah.
And actually, to his credit, who's the guy that burned his nose out? We love
Artie Lang.
Artie Lang was telling a story, and in the middle of it, he goes, "Listen, this is just for the story." He basically let us know in the middle of it that it was bullshit, and that I respected. He just goes, "This didn't really happen. I'm just using it to tell a fucking story." So
guys are like, I was watching Turner and Hooch today.
Right.
You're like, what?
Yeah, what's with the dog? So the dog's his partner?
And I gotta tell you. If I had a dog as a partner, I might want to beep. It's like you weren't watching Turner and Hooch today because you were watching it last week when I saw you do the same bit.
Right. Or a lady came up to me yesterday and pointed out my shoes, and I'm like, really? Because you have to craft bits. So
or
just yesterday.
Or today. Like, so a lady walked up to me in the mall today.
No.
Wow, this is a 15-minute well-written bit with no pauses. How are you that good? Like an hour and a half ago in the mall, you just came up with this.
I never even thought of that aspect of it, like that they've constructed something so well because
we know how long it takes to develop material.
Well, that's the thing is I stopped even trying to write material. I just tell stories that have happened to me. I realized like 6 years ago, everything I'm going to say on stage has already happened to me or is going to happen to me. So it took all the pressure off of like having to sit down and have the construct of writing a bit. So like just like stuff my kids do, things that happen to me.
So do you just make a list of here's the stories I'm telling tonight, or do you just go riff the whole thing?
I'll do like bullet points. I'll riff it a lot of the time. Like I don't make it all. I'm not one of these guys like he makes it. Nobody like makes it all up as they go along. Like
right.
If you go to Hawaii, you know which suitcase your bathing suit is in.
Yeah, exactly. You know you're going to Hawaii too.
It's like It's just like then he decided to go to the pool. Next thing you know, he was swimming. I just go to that suitcase when I want to tell that story.
So here's what I mean about not just impressionists. So then I'm watching Burt Wonderstone. There's a clip in the bar, and it's my favorite. That movie's one of my. Honestly, I don't understand that movie. The talent in that movie is insane. It's ridiculously funny. There's a scene in the bar where a character is Rick.
Rick the Implausible.
That's
my big magician.
I didn't know that was his
That's my
name.
magician name, Rick the Implausible. I had the 2 to 2:15 slot.
That scene where he's basically kind of proudly talking about his gig. It's not going good. It's going all right. It's going good. And here's the thing. I can tell when you're doing it, and this is the actor part. I can tell as much acting training as I had that because you're way better at it than I am. That you're actually making decisions second by second.
Yeah, it's a bit of a high wire act.
Yeah. I mean, it's were you riff? Was that written like that, or did you riff that? Did they like go for it?
They let us ad lib like 20 different takes. So the thing that was
how did Carell hold it together? Because it's so fucking funny.
How did Carell hold it together? How do I hold it together when Carell is ad libbing?
Well, Carell was cool. Carell, I watched the scene with that specific scene. Carell goes, how's it going? No, so he goes, so how's it going? He's very straight. He lets you guys. What I loved about Carell in that scene is he didn't try. He let you guys be really funny.
Right, but there's some takes where he was like off, underwater. He was fully submerged, and there's takes where Jim Carrey did like 100 takes.
Really?
And at the end of 100 takes, Alan Arkin goes, "I like take 2." I mean, it was 100 takes.
Really?
Wow.
Just over and over and over. And I swear to God,
Different shit every time.
Not really. And Alan Arkin said that. I like take 2. And then Jim Carrey goes, "Really?" And he goes, Yeah, that was the one. That was the one. Take 2.
Take 2. So
I ad-libbed.
You want to do 101? That's okay.
Yeah, I like choose the one, man. So we ad-libbed a lot of it, but it's hard to explain. It's ad-libbing based in reality. So the time of the day show that Rick the Implausible gets might have been from 2 to 3. So I ad-libbed from 2 to 2:15.
2 to 2:15 in the lobby. So as it comes, he goes, "Yeah, let's go well. 2 to 2:15 in the lobby. It's going good."
So that was like, I think 2 to 3 at one point in the lounge. So I just kind of kept making it smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller.
And I'm doing a lot of webisodes.
Yeah, I'm starting webisodes. And I'm not working with big cats like the guy I was with was like a big cat.
That's the most brilliant piece in the whole thing. He goes to tell us it's fucking brilliant. People go look this up. Look up Jay Mohr, Burt Wonderstone in the bar. He does his bit right there and he starts to tell the guy goes, the guy next to him, he goes, "What happened to?" He goes, "My hand." He goes, "My cats are getting a little bitey lately."
He's the most famous German comedian.
Yeah.
In real life.
Oh, really?
This guy's people screeched up their brakes in Vegas. We're like, "Oh my God!"
Really?
They couldn't believe that this guy was in our movie.
Well, German comedian.
I don't remember his name.
Really?
People are like doing K-turns on Flamingo Boulevard just to get a picture.
That was booked because they were like, no, in the German markets, this guy's in
right.
the movie. What will
I would
happen?
love to see what the numbers of the movie are
exactly.
In
Germany,
Germany.
through the roofs, this guy.
One of my
Incredible.
cats is getting a little bitey.
He goes, the cat's getting a little bitey. He goes, that's why I do regular magic because I'd rather kill on stage than have some cat break off my hand, rip it, or never kill on stage and have some cat kill. Forget it.
So that was ad-lib.
But it's a brilliant piece of just, I can tell you. So then you said something else, because I did a little research. You did something about your character loves Steve Carell's character so much that it's almost like, you know what it was like? your character's playing at a 7th grade dance, trying to ask Stephen Carell to dance and getting turned down. Because when you just go, just forget it. I'm like, oh, I just want to. It's awesome. People, go watch this clip.
I'm so happy to talk about this. Steve Carell had an ad lib at the end of that scene that he just goes, as like everybody else starts talking, like Jim Carrey walks in and there's other dialogue going on. And then at one point, like a minute later, Steve Carell just goes, "You want to kill on stage, not get killed on stage." And I thought that should stay in the movie, because it was like maybe a page and a half later, he just turns to me like he fucking hates my guts.
Like he had to get it out.
Yeah.
His character couldn't handle it.
Now you understand.
I've done that with young comics. So I'm like, come here. Because they walk up, say, come here. Here's what you need to say. Fuck. Like it's so.
Now you can understand like how I was trying to hold it together with his ad-libs, because that one was like just taking my legs out and pushing me over the Hoover Dam. Oh my God.
We had that on the movie. Do you remember the guy that couldn't say why you not want to? What was the line that you wrote?
Oh wait.
He was supposed to be a thug, and he was.
Oh God, we had this fucking guy, and he was playing all this really hardcore. He goes, oh fuck, I wrote like a mobster guy, like caught in a loop, and why you not want to be my friend no more now? That was Hey, why you not want to be my friend no more now?
Why you not want to be my friend no more now?
Boom! First time!
First try!
35 takes!
Oh,
35 takes!
Why you not want to be my friend no more now?
He go, why not now? Do you want want to be my friend now?
He's trying to be Vietnamese.
I don't know what. Yeah.
You want square or round? Why not now? You want to be my friend no more? Now.
Now. And then pause now. Like he was like, oh shit, I gotta say now to end it. And
Sounds like a nail lady.
And I was behind the camera. I'm directing like this. I'm doing these takes. I'm literally doing shit from the 30s. I'm like, I just keep slapping myself in the
From
forehead.
the 30s?
Yeah, you know, there's like
From the 30s. The lost decade. Nobody ever references the 30s.
I do.
Ever.
I don't like to be like everybody else. So Carell, just a little back to Carell made the final cut to play Tommy's character in my show Titus, and he didn't get it. So Steve Carell owes me a lot, because he'd have been locked down to do a fucking sitcom for a couple of years.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing, like how many guys, like when they were coming up, were almost doing something, and then, like, what would the trajectory be? Like,
Right.
Can you ever? I don't think you put a cap on like a Steve Carell. Like if Tom Cruise, I always said if Tom Cruise was pumping gas in like Minot, North Dakota, they'd still find him.
They'd have found him.
Like Julia Roberts, you can't out kitten a kitten. They're gonna find that cat and bring her down someplace and make her Julia Roberts.
Yeah, I guess.
Just some of them are just like, they just radiate star.
But wait, maybe is that true? Because there's got to be more. I mean, you think there's some people out in the world that are just the coolest person in their town, and they're like, you should have done. Yeah, my dad died and I had to run the dealership.
But like Tom Cruise is an ethereal person. Like he glows. Like he swallowed Christmas lights. Like Russell Brand.
Like he swallowed Christmas
like
lights.
Russell Brand swallowed Christmas lights.
Yeah.
It's like you can't keep them off the scoreboard. I don't think you can.
That's a good point. I agree with that. Tom Cruise is so iconic that we go to this Tony Horton's friend and I, we go to do this ninja workout on Sunday where it's the craziest, most painful. My hands are tore up because of it.
Oh damn.
Yeah. We go and do this crazy workout and I can't do it with everybody else.
A lot of rings.
I get halfway. Yeah. So here's the thing. So one of the guys is this ex-Israeli Secret Service guy. And here's how I got to him. This guy, he's perfect looking. He's one of those guys that if I walked in and she was sleeping with him, I'd be like, yeah, all right. I'm what
do you do?
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
What was his name?
Yeah, don't worry. Wait till you see him. You'll remember his name.
Dainty entry. She just
yeah, well, exactly.
Excuse me.
Pardon? So in the middle, he does some like 15 pull-ups or whatever, and I just go. He gets up and I go. Tom Cruise did 3 more, and he literally did this. Like it got to him. Like that's
did Tom do 3 more?
Yeah. That this dude was like Tom Cruise was still better. Tom Cruise is still better than everybody.
Yeah.
No, say what you will.
He's in his 50s, like doing that rock climbing shit, like
I know, hanging off
in Mission Impossible, whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, he's I don't know. Say what you will.
I just watched Last Samurai again. I was so impressed by it.
Yeah, he's another guy like you who's got like all the acting chops, but like in all the action chops. Like so, there's like everybody seems to have. There's a lot of people that are famous because of one thing, and they're good at that one thing, and they still stayed famous because they do that one thing well. And here's what I loved about how you love comedy. You see comedy. Some people see comedy as a means to an end. I see comedy as the end. That's it. I don't give a shit. Everything else is fucking. Everything else is lanyap. Everything else is extra. Everything's. If I get a TV show, bonus. You know, if I write something, it's bonus. Getting on that stage, and I don't know if you see it like that.
No,
but
that's what I am. Like that's my DNA.
Yes, that's what we started. That's
my chemistry set.
You can't stop it either. That's
No.
another thing. You can't stop it. Some guys can. I can't turn it off. If I don't work for 2 weeks, if I'm not on the road working, my new show, my 9th one is called Stories I Shouldn't Tell. And I got rid of the politics, and I'm back to the darkest shit I've ever talked about my family. And I just, it's literally, it's life-giving and heroin-ish as
I'm
I did.
looking for a title for my special now. It's like, I think you're a really good namer. Like you name things really well.
Armageddon was a good one. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm a good namer. I'm a lot of marketing, Jay.
I'm just trying to come up with a name for my special.
I'm on it.
It was interesting because the first time I ever met you was at the Brea Improv, and we were doing a cancer benefit. And I had already performed, and you showed up. He was on stage, and you were sitting at the table with me, and you kept talking about him, even though he wasn't there.
I was
and
in awe.
Yeah, and you kept saying, "This guy's the best there is. He's just the best at this shit that there is about storytelling." And then you turned around, and I'll never forget this because this has never happened before and never happened after. You said, "Do you write this for him?" And I remember thinking, is he kidding? Is this legit? Because as a female in comedy, like very recently, a club manager went on radio and told a nationally syndicated radio station that he must write all my material for me. That's usually the way it goes. Very sexist approach.
The quote was, she's very funny. She's very funny. She's very pretty and very funny, which is rare. But, you know, Titus writes all the material.
Just laid it out there. Like, and you're like the opposite of sexist.
You just kept it alive by talking about it. Fuck that guy.
It was bullshit.
Fuck that guy.
It was a woman.
No, it's a Me Too thing.
Fuck that lady.
Yeah, it's actually a Me Too.
Don't get me started on Me Too.
No, but
you're
don't get me started.
He's the antithesis of that. Once I realized you weren't kidding.
It was like, because it was very, it's hard to explain. It's real. I go into the weeds with comedy. Like I really get very meta. So with Chris, when you were telling stories about your kids, you have more heart than anybody knows. Like you are all heart. You're just a giant heart, like that monster on Bugs Bunny, just shaped like sort of like a heart. You're just all heart, and like you love more than most people will ever love. You're gonna get hurt more than most people are ever gonna get hurt because you're fearless. Like you don't swim in the shallow end.
I'm angrier than most people.
That's correct, because you see more of like the shit that goes, by, and you see more of red flags and stuff. I've just surrendered.
I love.
Just watch the hands.
Sorry, I didn't mean touch. Getting it touchy. I love that I'm all heart. So I like the way he puts it. A lot of people go, dude, you're just out of control. You're an asshole. I like that, like, because I do get reactive to almost everything. Even last night, I was walking over to her. She's in bed and I go, I want you to know something. I love you more than anything. Like you don't even know how much I like it. I started to get tear up. She goes, what are you doing? Why are you doing this?
Are you dying?
Yeah.
That's why
I wanted to tell you I have ball cancer.
I left ball cancer.
Like my left. That's the kind you beat. That's fine. But that's like guys don't say that. Like I would say it, especially to her.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
That's a beauty. You're a sweetheart, but
also smart too.
Yeah, she's all of it. But your stand-up was so. Jesus, get to the point. There was so much heart that there's a feminine well that's being mined from. Like either you're raised by women or raised in, connection with women. Like
what are you saying exactly?
I'm not even going to make a joke because the point's too. I finally landed at the point. So I thought maybe that she had written some of the material because it was just.
But the point being, you weren't being shitty about it. You weren't being snarky, which doesn't exist
in comedy.
Not even just in comedy.
It does
but
exist. Trust me.
You don't hear it. People aren't speaking that side of it. Oh, a woman could possibly do that.
You do admit that it's rarer though. Like there's it's a group of people. Comics are a group of people that are based in insecurity. I mean, the reason we're doing comedy, I always talk about the delusion of a stand-up. The delusion of a stand-up is you have to believe that you're the coolest person in the room, in a room full of strangers. You have to believe that you're going to be the most engaging, the most entertaining, and you're going to get people to laugh out loud,
that's Joe Montana shit.
That's Joe Montana shit. It's real. It's a real emotion. Yeah, I love a perfect example. Joe Montana's a perfect example because I would watch the 49ers and they'd be down 21 points, 3 minutes left. I'd be like, I'm not going to win.
His name was Joe Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
You know the John Candy story?
No.
I think it was the NFC champ, and this has been confirmed multiple times. It's the NFC championship game. They're down 5 points. They're on their own 15-yard line or whatever, and Joe Montana comes out into the huddle, and guys are just fucking tense, man. Like, it's intense, probably against the Cowboys
Right.
again and again and again. They're down 5. They're on the 15-yard line. He goes, all right. They're in the huddle. He goes, hey, you see Coach? Well, look behind Coach. It's John Candy. In the crowd, it's John Candy. And the guys in the huddle are like, what? And he goes, look, see where Coach is.
Right.
They were literally like, wait, what? He goes, look where Coach is. Like, if you watch the film, he's
Right.
in the huddle, like, pointing to the sideline.
Right.
And he goes, now look over Coach's shoulder.
Fucking
It's John Candy. And the guys are like, oh, yeah. And he goes, jet sweep L on 2 boogie. Let's go. And, like, he just took everyone out of it. And I don't think it was even by design. Maybe it was. But he's like, biggest snap of their careers. There's John Candy.
I think those guys that have that level of competitiveness and that buddy of mine, Tony Schumacher, is 8-time world champion, a top fuel racer. And I would, if you put him up on the line, he's got a 10,000 horsepower dragster. You put him on the line up against a kid pulling a wagon, you fucking lose. He's smoking the tires. He's gonna red light. It's over. You put him up against a fucking Tom Cruise in an F-22. He's gonna beat his ass. He's just the more pressure. They're like diamonds. They just get better and better and better. And a lot of
That's how we are.
as a
Yeah,
comic, you have to
true.
be. Yeah, you have to be.
When the Tao of Pooh, Piglet ass.
Okay, I'd like to point out, everybody, that we've had more references up to this point than we've done in any video podcast so far.
Dennis Miller hosting a fucking Snapple Cat print-a-thon. With,
What happened to Dennis?
I don't know, but the Off-White album is one for the ages, huh?
Mhm.
Love
Yep.
the fact Jack Ruby got into the crunch that day. Sorry. So Piglet asks Winnie the Pooh and the Tao of Pooh, is eating honey your favorite thing in the world? And he goes, no. There's a moment right before I eat the honey. That's my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
So I realized my entire life is one big fucking stall to elongate the time right before I
Yeah.
eat the honey. I'm
Yeah.
late to my own shows.
Yeah.
I am late to a Jay Mohr show.
You
Why
like-
isn't the show started?
was an
Because
hour-
Jay Mohr isn't here yet. He's just getting up,
Right.
and I was late here.
Yeah, it's great.
And it's just because once it's over and it's done. And I could the only way I can manipulate time is to manipulate the start time, because before it starts, it's kind of fun and cool. On your way to something, on your way to a set to film,
Yep.
is fun.
Yeah.
Before you get in the car on your way, it's still sort of on your way. So I just because
I love that you hired somebody
We
as an
bend
assistant
time.
that lies to you about time to get you there
That's
on
per
time.
my request.
I know, I got it. But don't you know that's weird? You have to forget that you told him to do that.
I forget easily.
Yes, you
How
do.
are you pre-show? Are you still nervous?
I could sleep.
Really?
I'm a zombie.
Really?
I read in this evolutionary psychology book, it's fight or flight. Now there's freeze, but there's less than 1% of the population that wants to take a nap when the shit goes down. Like if a
Right.
fight breaks out in a club, I'm just like,
Do you know kids do that? They have I call it the reset button. Little
Yeah.
kids do that. Is that when the pressure gets? I'm the opposite. When the pressure gets big, I'm like this. I'm like ready to punch.
You're gonna get tired.
I'm ready to fight. Well, I for some reason.
Well, I'm just as ready to fight though.
yeah, you're just like.
But
this.
you're asleep.
Yeah, we're gonna.
It's
do
like
that.
a fucking rattlesnake,
I'm gonna kick your ass.
right?
Give me a second.
And guess who nobody bugs?
Yeah.
I get it.
Something about that guy is freaking me out.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me tell you something, you
Wait,
big karate
wait,
motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah, you know what? The
But I'm
truth
really
is,
worried about the girl with you in the bar when the fight breaks
No,
out.
the calm
Yeah.
guy. By the way, here's the thing: assholes that want to fight avoid the calm guy because they always. I had this happen in.
Is he calm or is he asleep?
Nah,
No, I get really.
it does-
I'll start yawning.
Before a show, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
When I'm coaching wrestling, like I'm yawning. Like when it's really
Wow.
intense in their matches. When I jump rope, I yawn. When there's a video of me on my Instagram jumping rope, and you just see me going.
So you never hit your target heart rate. It's like 11.
No, I hit it.
Jay said 11.
That's the thing.
He went up from 9. He said his target heart rate is 11.
11's a great word for that.
So,
So I hit. That's the thing is they go on simultaneously. Like my inside's like.
So
my ass-
inside you're
Wow.
aware of it, but your body. That's weird. That's an interesting.
Like I'm about to go
interesting
host
way
an NASCAR awards. Like I'm about to walk on stage
Yeah.
and just like.
How is that gig?
Hard?
Yeah, I can't even imagine
I
it.
said that like Norm, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, that get a NASCAR gig hard. That's what do you mean? How is the gig? NASCAR.
It should be my gig, but I did Armageddon last year, and it's all about what's going on in the country, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't want to see that dude."
In this business, found if you just give everything time, they just wind up announcing your name for your next at bat eventually. Now batting Christopher Titus.
Eventually. That's what I always say that it's people go, how do you make it show business? I go, this show business is a bunch of concentric walls. It's a big circle, and there's just wall after wall after wall, like some weird druid thing got built, and you start way out here I want to be famous, and you start fucking banging your head against this wall. When that wall falls, it's a shitty wall too, by the way. It's one of those weird Irish walls that's been there for like 42,000 years, and that fall, and then you go into the next wall, and it's a little bit nicer wall, and you just keep going till you get to the center where fucking Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio and fucking Harrison Ford are just chilling, but it takes you forever to get there.
And here's the thing: on your journey, some walls will just fall as you approach them.
Yep.
And you're like, oh my god, out of nowhere.
I went through 3 walls. Yeah.
You didn't go through them. You just go, Jesus, I don't even know what I'm gonna do anymore. My head hurts, and then suddenly just 3 walls evaporate.
Yep.
You go, oh my god.
Yeah.
Thank you, heavens. So
sometimes
repetition.
I don't notice those though. I always think
notice them. It's always that weird phone call when somebody just goes, "Hey, you want to host this thing for like 50
right,
grand?"
right.
You're like, "Yes."
Or out of the blue, someone goes, "Hey, James Cameron's a fan, and he wants you. He's giving you the second lead in this movie." I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
hold on, I got to call my car wash job. Hey guys, I'm going to be out for 3 weeks.
Man, you pulled this shit last week with Liam Neeson.
Yeah, you said Spielberg called you, bitch.
Shit. Liam Spielberg.
So what's the new show about? What's your new show about? Because this is
my stand-up show.
Yes, this is what's interesting to me.
It's very revealing. It's Titus-esque. It's just me going under the
It's
hood.
not a word or a category, but okay.
I'll take Titus-esque. I'll take shit only I know for 1,000, Alec. It's just me like telling. The best way to explain it is if other people explain it back to me. Like they go for this ride, they feel like kind of embarrassed to laugh, and they're afraid if they start laughing, they'll start crying, or they won't be able to stop laughing. And then when it's over, they feel like they're on like a whitewater rafting trip, and they feel silly that they didn't trust me.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that's what you've developed over the years too. Is like this new ones. I talk about my sister's suicide, and I do a bit about like trying to solve suicide, and I talk about I talk about losing my kids to my ex, it's called stories I shouldn't tell, and it's basically it's not a tragedy if you can add a punchline.
Well, I started talking about my mom's Alzheimer's, and the crowd gets they get like intense.
Yeah,
and they won't give it up. And I have to remind them, I don't know if I'm asking if you went through the same thing with your sister's suicide. We're like, you can laugh. I'm telling you, it's okay to laugh.
Yeah.
Like I say that a couple times. But my mom's Alzheimer's, because it is fucking hilarious.
Do you set it up in the beginning? Do you let them know what you're going to tell them about?
I'll go like, my mom died of Alzheimer's this year. And then it's like,
You actually hear.
You see a lot of balloons.
It's just all the air comes out of the room. Pressure, ears pop. My fucking ears pop. What just happened? What did I just say?
But I tie it all in, but I don't tie it all together like this thing like, okay, when I go on stage, don't forget to say this, to tie that to this, to tie that to
So here's what I do. Because I think sometimes.
I just tell them when I say it's good to see you, I mean it. It's like I need them.
So what I do with stories I shouldn't tell. She's got a new show. Her second show is about her mom she was a caregiver for mom during a cancer. And here's what people don't get. This comedy's hard enough when you're just telling stories and jokes. How hard is it when you're like, oh, by the way, see this open wound? Give me a chainsaw. I'm going to put that in it, and then I'm going to turn it on and dig around for a minute.
I think comedy's eeasier that way.
I think so.
Because if you share something with them and they don't laugh, you still shared it. You move on to the next story. It's not like,
yeah,
and
nobody laughs, and you're standing there like, exactly. You're not standing there after your big punchline like,
yeah. If they don't laugh, yeah, you're right.
Well, when I started,
you were right on that time. You shouldn't have laughed.
When I started doing cancer material at first, and I told them that she had, I named the type of cancer, pancreatic, and they knew she died, it did that same thing. They were like, no. But now I just say she was diagnosed. They don't know that I lost her. I get them laughing about chemo and the journey and stuff like that. And then when I tell them that she's gone, they're sad, but I've already tricked them into laughing at it.
You control time.
Yeah, totally.
You totally see.
But used to, they were like,
She worked for 10 years with me. Imagine having to travel with me all the time is what I care about comedy.
Buddy, I got no problems with you. My experience with Christopher Titus.
No, imagine being new though, and every time she does something like, not even. I never gave her any space. I never gave her like, yeah, you'll get it. I was like, what the fuck is that? Like,
you cut off the ring early.
I did.
Well, you're smart.
I just wanted to get her. I knew that it was going to take so much time. It takes so much time to be funny that I was trying to cut the rules out quick. It was hard. So when people go, oh yeah, she didn't have to work really hard because she had to tour with Titus. Oh no, she had to tour with Titus.
Shit, I was just gonna say.
I'm not touring with Jeff Dunham. Let me just say.
I was so excited to say she had to tour with Titus. I actually didn't hear you say she had to tour with Titus, and I almost said it right after you said it. So I was like, "Oh my god!" And then you said it. I almost said it again. So I was so vapor locked into my own punchline.
Did you guys ever work together before?
No, it was always peripherals. Like Jay,
We're just long lost fucking brothers.
no
Seriously.
shit. No, and here's the thing. And when I did the second time I did your podcast was like really that was intense. Probably one of the most fun I've ever had.
We realized we had every single thing in common.
Yeah, and currently right now. So is your new show about what's going on in your personal life?
Yeah, like yes, a lot of it.
Yeah,
like we're talking about my mom dying and Alzheimer's and stuff, and just it's sharing a lot of hurt, but also there's some good goofy in the middle. A lot of thing where I just take fucking pickaxe to every race. Just I feel like they can only get you if you care.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Like the minute you apologize, like you're just fucking done.
Yep.
I said that's why Kathy Griffin and I she did the first video podcast she did, and the reason we became know each other is because when she did that thing with the Trump head, I said she apologized, and I just what the fuck are you doing? You're a comedian. Inherently, you didn't mean it. Inherently, like your job specifically, it doesn't matter if it was a joke. You didn't like it. Fuck you. Good. All right. Sorry,
Chester. I didn't mean it unless I did. I'll never tell you if
exactly.
I did or not.
If you cut someone's actual head off, you apologize for that. Yeah, I'm sorry. But if it was a joke, it's a joke.
And by the way, it wasn't, it wasn't her idea. You go to do a photo shoot for like Vanity Fair. There's people that have been working on that idea for months.
Right.
And there's storyboards.
And we didn't hear one of their names.
Because they're fucking cowards, and they hide behind the comedian who was able to just stand and be the tip of the spear and take the blame.
Yep.
And get death threats and fucking have their lives altered because
we are. It's weird. We are. I just got something. We are the point man. We are the first comedians overall. You too, because you're doing this cancer thing, which is like you've basically. We're going through a rice paddy where there's with all the everything. Landmines. There's IEDs everywhere, and they go, "Hey, you go first and figure this out," and then we have to walk through it and try to get everybody else behind us to make it okay. That's
just
what we
follow
do
our footsteps. You'll
yeah,
be fine.
Yep. Follow it and stay with us.
If you get lost, don't call out. We'll come get you.
Yeah. What I tell them in stories I shouldn't tell is I go, listen, this entire show is going to be about tragedy. I go, it's the one thing that binds us. I go, say what you will, white, black, red, yellow, rich, poor, man, woman. We're all going to have tragedy, and death is a bitch, but it ain't a racist. And I go, so, and I'm going.
Wow.
And
I love it.
And so I told them, I said,
that ain't racist.
Yeah. So I told him, I said, there's a point in the show where I'm going to do the worst joke I've ever done. There's 3 of them in a row, and I go, it's a long ways from now, and I go, you'll know it when I get them, when I hit them, and I go, just know it's coming. And first night I did it, some guy, I was at Flappers, the guy goes, there it is! He just yelled out, there it is! I was like, so I think if you warn them, if you can warn them in a funny way, they go like this. You take all the onus off them. They don't have to make a decision. They go, okay, no, he said he was gonna fuck with us. He actually said he was, it's like a doctor going, I'm going to give you a shot. If the doctor just walked up and went, bang, the fuck? But if he goes, okay, now just be ready. I think
the doctor says to me, if I go, is this going to hurt? He's going to go, yeah. But it's over in like a second.
Yeah.
Then I don't give a shit.
Exactly.
Something makes it hurt less that he just told me, yeah, this is going to really hurt.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For a second. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Just 1
and
second.
as funny as you are, but if you could set that, you tell them funny that this is going to hurt for a second, but I promise we're going to let you out. I love dragging them through the darkness.
Well, yeah, but I don't think we're dragging them. We just keep walking, and they just keep following. So we just keep walking. We whistle through a couple of graveyards, and they never know when we're whistling and when we're being for real.
They're like, this tour's fucked
up. The thing about it is that everybody's gone through it. Everybody has tragedy. Everybody has. They may not have Alzheimer's, but if I watched your show, I would identify with my mom having cancer and what that was like.
And I was never anybody's caretaker.
Right, but you can identify, and so I think that we're not dragging them. I think we're giving people access to certain things if you talk about serious stuff.
I would say like we're minors.
Yeah.
And we go into the wells that have been abandoned, like the Scooby-Doo wells that say, do not enter, beware.
Yeah. And
we go in there and we just start going and going and going. And we come out with we show them there's still a lot of life in this abandoned quote unquote mind.
Right. Yeah. We just went further than
that's our job.
Yeah. Our job as good comics, we're supposed to go deeper than everybody else did.
And darker.
Yeah.
And deeper and darker.
Yeah.
I saw Patrice say this once when he said, rest in peace, big brother. He said and the monkey bars as a kid, I gotta always reach for the extra monkey bar. It might not be there, and I might fall and smash my face open on the playground, but you can never remove my right to reach for that extra bar.
Wow.
I might be so over the line,
Yeah.
but when I'm not over the line, you applaud and you go crazy like, yay! But you can't strip me from that need to just reach for that other bar.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not there and I fall. But shame on you if you ever remove that from
Try
me,
and
that
stop
need to reach
me.
out.
Isn't
Yeah.
our job to continue to set a new line, though? I mean, guys,
Yes.
guys, wait, we're really making comedy unfunny right now.
I don't think so. I think this is the best kind of talk.
But
As
our
Russell
job
Brand
is to
goes,
go-
I think the problem is the line.
Yeah, yeah, right.
It seems to be a different place in frequency for all of us.
I think, but
Somewhere we were, Russell Brand was doing a show. He's now doing
in a yoga studio.
studio.
In a yoga studio.
Where
Yes, he
was that?
No, he was doing a meet and greet. He said he would stay there as long as it was to meet everybody.
But for Rachel's only.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Oh,
exactly.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But it's
Russell Brand.
delightful.
Yeah, he's giving so much now. He's a Dalai Lama, except he's only going to yoga studios with women who are wearing leatards.
Well, which makes him a fucking genius.
Yeah, it does.
brilliant.
It does. It makes.
I'll do a meet and greet for all Lululemon yoga pants.
When I first started taking Pilates, a guy would come in and he would be on the machine and he would stay for like 3 classes in a row, and he would get up during class. Do you remember this guy? And go smoke in the bathroom,
Yeah.
and then come back and lie down on the machine and just kind of flip things around
Yeah.
and look around, then go have another cigarette in the bathroom of the Pilates studio.
Was he like ejaculating in his pants? And the cigarette
Well,
was...
I think we now know he was, but
I don't
at the
know.
time
Maybe
I
it's
was
just-
like, he's just trying to get in shape and he needs encouragement, and he was like,
Smoking in
no,
the bathroom.
no.
What kind?
You were that naive?
I want to see the best in people.
That is the best in him.
Thank you.
The guy jacked off
That's
at
all
the
he had.
Pilates studio.
But yeah,
Okay,
he's
well, I
already,
didn't
he's
think
so
about
couldn't
it.
be showing up at a Pilates studio. Yeah, he was peaking.
But
That was
that is
his
the-
Gandhi moment.
I
Actually,
feel like that is the best of that guy. Like, I respect him.
probably
Like,
is.
I'm just sitting here watching his yoga pants jiggle and jack off without even touching myself. The guy do some tantric stuff.
You've been going through some dark times lately, man. Jay did one of the best things. Ray and I went through I'm going to say my ex. We went through a bad divorce with my ex.
Yes.
Bad divorce. And then I heard something you did after I'd already made the mistake that you went through. That you're the smartest man I've ever seen in a divorce.
You've told so many people this.
Oh, I
too.
tell people all the time, 'cause especially when
I
guys
did
are,
it twice, though.
Yeah, I know.
I
Wow,
did a
that's,
second divorce.
guess that's not as smart because you got a second divorce.
Wait till the third one. You have permission to hog tie me. And I want
He's
your
gonna show. He's gonna be a kidnap movie. We're just.
I
Gonna
want your
take it.
11th special to be you kidnapping me, putting me in a van, and like actually beating the shit out of me because I'm about to get a divorce for
It's
the third
basically
time.
called deprogramming Jay. That's the
Yeah.
entire thing. It's just me and you in a
or I'm
room.
about to get married for the third time.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just-
we'll come get you.
I want the A-team band though.
Intervention.
Exactly.
Intervention.
You,
it's
Billy
good name for-
Gardell.
Yeah,
Good
me
name
and
for a
Billy Gardell
special.
show up
Brad.
and get Jay, Brad Williams. We just throw Jay in a van and just talk
We
him
need
out of
Brad.
it.
He's necessary too.
Yeah, he's good for what else.
So tell what he did.
So what he did was it's a great story. You should tell it because you've told to me. I now because it was a legend in my head. I'd heard it from someone else. Then you told me the story, and the way you told me the story, the way your attorney kind of just tell the story real quick. It's awesome. And by the way, people who's getting divorced, if you think getting divorced, listen to this man. This is probably the cleanest piece of wisdom, and this piece of wisdom would have saved me how much money? $1.5 million, probably.
Well, I'll reserve that answer for after his
All
story.
right, go ahead.
Well, it's kind of a big buildup. I went to mediation for my divorce, and the mediator said to me, "So what's this worth to you?"
Mediation for people is when you sit in a room with the person that hates you and you hate them, and you try to work it out.
There's an umpire.
Yeah, exactly. There's an
Yeah.
umpire. There's
He
someone
goes,
there.
"You're out, safe, safe. You're out, safe, safe, safe. You're out, you're out. Now both of you are out."
Yeah, exactly.
So I came up with a number like $500,000, and she took her glasses off and she goes, "That's funny." She goes, "So what's this
That's a
worth
lot
to
of
you?"
money.
So yeah, but not really. To last you the rest of your life, I guess.
Right.
So what happened essentially was we were going over alimony payments versus the buyout, and it came to about $1.6 million, $1.8 million.
Wow.
And she had looked over her glasses at me. She goes, "This is everything you own. This is you leaving here in a leased car and going back to a home that doesn't make you any money."
Right.
And she nodded her head yes. She goes, "Now, I can't legally tell you that this is what you should do." She was nodding her head yes. She goes, "I can't tell you if you were my son, I would have you do this option." And she's nodding her head yes. She goes, "So you got a big decision to make." And I'm like, I left there with the money in my pocket, which was about $62.
Wow.
I was in a leased car, and I went back to a house that wasn't paid off yet. And it was everything everything I owned, with the exception of those things, was just, there you go.
Yeah, the legend is you took all the checkbooks and went here.
That's all of it. That's every single conceivable way for you to have money. There is no counter for you to have, because here is every single numbered check. Here's every account. Here's every conceivable way of money that coming in. Here's every residual I will ever make.
Ugh.
Here's Jerry Maguire residuals because you work so hard in it. Here is every single thing. You go, yeah, but what about? No, that's it. All of it.
You're not taking a shirt off.
There you go. Yeah, I might as well.
These are Jordans. They're collectors. You can have these.
I left in a barrel.
Like the 30s.
I was going to say the 30s.
You're the best. I love you guys. And they accepted it. Both times that happened.
So here's
the child support.
But here's what
that's my question, because she can always take you back until 18. There's no buyout.
She took me back, and she wanted more child support, so I offered half. I offered double. I'm gonna get you a clean edit on that one. She took me back for more child support.
We don't edit it.
I offered her double, and she said no. So it came out. Now it's $11,000 a month, but I have 2 ex-wives, so it's $22,000 a month. So I have to make $30,000 to eat at McDonald's.
Wait, how many kids do you have?
I have 2.
One.
So
by each
I want to take back what I said about if you get divorced, don't do what Jay did ever.
No, I have to go back to mediation because I can't. It's not sustainable.
No, it's not sustainable.
I don't make that kind of money.
There was a point, 18.5 a month, and that's how we looked at it. Before we could eat, pay bills, or anything, we had to hand over 18,500.
You got a lot of 5 kids though, right?
2
kids. I always think of you as like this rambling wild whites
from
West Virginia.
God, no.
The Wonderful Whites of West Virginia.
Exactly.
A documentary. They're just fucking...
That's my dad, actually.
Just chaos everywhere you guys are going.
So you got through that. But here's the part I loved about the story was at one point the lawyer said, you'll leave here today, make a phone call, and be working the Improv, headlining club for a week, making a ton of money. It just because you're that funny, and that'll happen every week you want until, you know what I mean? That's what was awesome about it, is that they were very clear. Like she doesn't have your talent or ability.
Yeah, she doesn't have any discernible.
There's no way she's going to make money.
Still doesn't.
Of course she does. We had to actually.
Is the money gone?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what we
Why do we keep marrying these fucking genetic cul-de-sacs?
Exactly.
What is your fucking...
Why do I keep marrying these genetic cul-de-sacs?
What is your fucking trade? How do you earn a fucking living, you cunt? I know what I do. I go out, I rock a mic, I do what I have to do. You seem to count my money. Fuck.
I like Pacino as a road comic.
What the fuck? I rock the fucking mic. I don't even use the props anymore because I got tired of checking up the fucking security. You fly clear? Are you clear yet? Because I gotta tell you, TSA approved saves you some time, but that clear gets me right to the fucking open. First thing I do when I check in, I jerk off, I take a nap. When I wake up from my nap, I get a club soda from room service, a club sandwich. Man, fuck it, jerk off again. Then they come pick me up. They go, what time do you want to be picked up, Al? I say, what time is the show? They go, 8 o'clock show. I go, pick me up at 8:05. I'm going to sit in the back of a fucking room and watch some local yokel.
Here's what's awesome about your impressions. It's not just the voice.
He's hard to do sitting down.
But the head moves. Like I watched him on Letterman.
It's way better standing up.
He's not fucking looking at Letterman. He keeps doing this.
Looking all over. I didn't realize that. I honestly had no idea I was doing that.
No, that's what I'm saying.
He's always looking around. What is this? Is this the arm of a chair?
Exactly.
Have you
my shoes are blue.
There's a button. Your shoes are blue. My shoes.
But that's it's almost like that acting
focus. Shoes are army olive green.
That acting focus where you stay being truthful by noticing things. Like our acting coach says, like if you're nervous, just start looking around the set and like noticing there's blue letters, and so that's what Pacino always hits me. That's what he's doing. He's like trying to
saying blue and nothing. Your shoes are blue and there's no blue letters.
Blue. I don't know.
You keep saying blue letters.
Oh,
right there.
Those are blue.
That's our wall. We spin that around for the Prince party, and it says.
What are we talking about? A fucking Prince party.
Pacino at the Prince party would be awesome.
You want to see my Paisley Park?
No.
I can't do it sitting down.
There's a restaurant that we go to, and we went with Nils and Amy, and he was there with James Caan, and they were in a private room with about 8 20-year-old girls.
James Caan has turned into an apostrophe. He just walked out.
Yeah.
He's still fucking James Caan. He could beat my ass in a second, but he came I was like,
yeah, you were speechless.
Wait, James Caan was with
Pacino in the back room.
And the people that we were there with, he's the guitarist for Springsteen, and so they were like, let's introduce you to Jimmy. And we were like, okay, Jimmy. And James Caan walks
James Caan.
out.
I'm there. Howdy.
That's what...
I don't. So you hung out with like you've done movies with these big people.
I was on Las Vegas with Jimmy Caan was on Las Vegas.
Yeah, right. That's right.
And he's got that weird limp where he like kind of shuffles over.
Yeah.
And I said, why do you limp so much? And he goes, kid, I don't know if you know this. I was a professional bull rider for 20 years. And I go, well, were you on top? And he goes, get the fuck out of here. Get him away from me. He lost his mind.
Like mad or joking? Just be giving you shit.
Both.
That's funny.
Like really both at the same time. Like,
get the fuck
out of here.
Well, you look at the people that, by the way, so you have to be a certain amount of talented to actually play in those rooms. I'm not in that certain. You, Tom Cruise, Christopher Walken, James Caan. There's a level of talent that you have to be to even play in those fucking playrooms, and you have that, man.
You have it, Chris. There's no question.
Yeah. I just hate everybody so much. I'm like, here's the thing.
So what makes you think they don't?
No, the reason we do this, and the reason I film my own movies, I got tired of being the gatekeepers telling me what I couldn't do, especially after I started at 19. So I know I'm pretty much. Listen, I may not be hit at bullseye every time, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to get in at least first and second rank.
It's a great rifle, man.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Great rifle.
And when someone comes in, some 24-year-old comes in and goes, "We don't think this is going to be funny. We don't think it's going to work." And I'm like, I go.
That's all I do. Is
I take a fucking poll every night with a live audience.
Right. You're
Since I was 19. So
you are right.
But I don't have the dip. I have it now. Thanks God to her. The diplomatic gear.
I'm dubious, but go ahead.
Yeah. So is Billy Gardell. Billy Gardell goes.
Wow.
Billy Gardell goes. No, you don't.
I love Billy.
No, you don't. You don't have it. You don't walk in. He goes. If anything, we're in a room because
you have the ability to say, "I now have the diplomacy." That's what you have. Is the ability to say.
You didn't even finish the word. He said dip. You said, "I now have the dip," and we knew what he was trying to say.
I'm sorry, but the thing is,
what did Billy tell you? You guys, he wanted you guys to go in and pitch a show or something.
Yeah, he's gonna.
What did he
EP
say
to
you about? But don't be you.
Yeah, he don't be you. Hey, Titus, just don't be you. You sit there, all right? If I grab your arm and I pinch it and you feel like you want to punch me, shut the fuck up. Billy just like dead. Just fucking shut up.
That's an interesting approach. Like, hey, Chris, we're gonna go pitch this show. The role you're playing in this pitch is the silent, cool, introverted, erudite.
Yeah, exactly. You nod a lot.
You're the German whose cats have gotten a little bitey.
By the way, that idea from the 23-year-old guy who just graduated the Ivy League school and he's never written a joke. It's just a good idea.
That's too. It's talking too much.
It's too sarcastic.
Quiet.
His name is German.
Oh, his name.
You just said quiet German. Yep. I like that your name is just German, and you're not even a German.
I go.
You're yeah. Yeah, don't activate the German. You're not gonna be happy.
Yeah. By the way, I know. Look. I'm not a Nazi, but I could definitely play a guard in the movie. You know, the guy who's in the tower.
You and me both.
He does this.
Hitler used to masturbate to you and I.
Exactly. A friend of ours said, "What are you, Irish, German, and snowman? What are you?"
I'm Irish, Scottish, German, and SS.
Ned.
Oh, carry on.
All right, so we got to do our ad, but no, you and I are the two guys in the guard tower that we just walk slow and then we go.
Yeah.
And then slowly blend back into the walk. That's our job.
That's your ass. We tilt our head. That's your ass. Like this, just.
And then lean over.
Jay Mohr, I forget. I don't know. Come up with a name for his new comedy special.
Oh, yeah. Well, so I
like the word liminal.
Liminal?
Like liminal time and space, because I'm just living in this liminal time where, if a guy goes to a job every day for 30 years and he gets fired on a Tuesday, he wakes up Wednesday, he doesn't know what to do.
Right.
That's liminal time. So I'm just living in it. So Jay Mohr liminal.
So as you're a marketing guy?
That's a big no. Conditional surrender.
Anytime I write a comedy special, I want them to reach for a dictionary.
Liminal. Conditional surrender.
You're really smart. You're much smarter than I am. Much more educated.
We have a friend.
No, I'm not much more educated at all.
We have a friend in common who's someone I call my brother. I consider him family, Jeffrey. And he, I think, is one of the most intelligent people and well-read people I've ever met.
Yeah.
Biggest heart of anyone I know.
I love him.
Survivor. And he talks about you like you're that to him. He talks about your heart, about how deep you are.
Really?
Oh, how intelligent you are.
He's
He
deep
goes
as
on
well.
and on.
No, the last time I was on your podcast, you started crying. You were talking about a bit I was doing with my daughter.
I'm a
I'm
a fag.
No, me too, though. But me too. I was like, yes. It doesn't happen on the Rogan podcast.
Maybe.
No, because
listen past the 2.5 hour mark.
We got into talking about writing material, and he was just like, "Listen, man, that bit you do about your daughter and the rose thing," and you just started tearing up, and I was like, at first I thought medication, or did you need it?
You'll know if I need it. That's when I turned into Titus.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
awesome. I get that. That's a level. I'm acting like Titus. I got to get some help.
Titus-esque.
Yeah, Titus-esque.
The medical community goes, this guy's about the Titus. I'm gonna get him a shot. He needs some Adderall.
I've got some good news and some bad news. You're starting to Titus-esque, and we can help that.
By the way, this very Titus-esque podcast is brought to you today by Harry's. Do you do Harry's on your podcast too?
Oh, I don't have any ads on my podcast.
Oh, really? We used to not, and now we do. We love this product, Harry's razors.
I like Harry's razors.
We
Do you-
love Harry's
You
razors.
can tell I'm without.
Yeah. The only reason that we we used to buy these whatever the razors you have to get out of the safe
That
in the
cost
fucking
$1,000.
at the CVS and
Some guy with smudged glasses has
yeah,
to come with his
exactly.
keys.
Exactly, and looking at you like you're gonna steal these, weren't you? So
Yeah. My
Harry's
shaving
razors,
habit.
5 blades, German factory. We have military in our family, and they're hardcore about what they like. We flipped everybody like to Harry's razors. Best razors I've ever had.
My
Yeah,
whole family uses them now.
Yep.
So right now you can
and
get
her
the
legs are velvet.
whole trial
I
set.
believe it.
You get,
Oh, well, show you. Wait a minute. This has gotten
I'm
weird.
very
This
tactile.
has gotten.
prove it.
Yeah, exactly.
You get the handle, the 5-blade razor, the shave gel, and the travel blade cover. And all you have to do is go to harrys.com/Titus, harrys.com/Titus. It's free. You just have to pay a couple bucks for shipping.
Is a / a slash?
Yeah, I think it's just.
That's what hangs me up every time.
Backwards
Yes.
slash. Yeah, it's
So
just a
sometimes it's
slash.
in the copy, like a forward. How do you like the way you normally do a slash?
It's just a
Is
slash.
upper
This to
right
you.
to
Yeah,
bottom.
Yeah, there's no.
left.
It's a slash.
This
I
would
agree
be-
with you. Like,
Upper right to bottom left.
But
is a
we've all
slash.
But what
accepted.
would you call that one?
I would call that a reverse slash
yeah.
or a backwards slash.
Reverse slash?
But yeah, slash is upper right to bottom left, right?
Upper right.
Yes.
Yep.
And
All
shouldn't you? Since the backward slash is used less, that's the one you should name. Just slash and
I
then
agree.
backward slash. There you go. I'm with you. We've changed
Cornell
it.
Stewart is slash.
Okay, harrys.com
Hey, look, lady.
slash.
This is a long
Titus.
ad now.
There
Oh,
you
wait,
go.
say it again.
Harry's Razors
Oh.
Face It. Also brought to you by Combustion Speedwear. This is the carbon footprint shirt. Basically, it's a 61 bubble top. Go to combustionspeedwear.com. We have the best leather jackets, all like Italian leather done with Japanese silk. Winter's going to be coming up in about 6 months. You're going to need it. Go to combustionspeedwear.com. We'll make you a custom jacket. And there's a bunch of cool
Nice.
t-shirts. Yeah.
I like Titus-esque as a name for my special.
Actually, that would totally
J.
work.
Moore,
Some people will
Titus-esque.
be like, oh, thank God. He's not as angry.
J. Moore-esque.
He's not yelling.
You know how
More-esque.
hard it is to make other comics laugh, especially someone that's been doing it as long as you guys
Yes.
have. Your last special, we sat
Yep.
down and we got pajamas, we had snacks, we had
Snack
drinks, snack party, middle of the living room. We made a fort,
Yep.
and we watched it. We rarely watch beginning to end the whole thing, man.
The
We laughed
Dateline,
out
the-
loud.
The
I
one.
love these two.
This is when you went to the concert. This is that one, right?
The
one in
Bon Jovi
Vegas
concert,
where you
Liberace.
got
Dude,
high-
that
the
was-
Liberace
We were high as
luggage.
cock.
I
That
was
was-
like, fuck it.
That was
We were
insane.
so stoned
Yeah,
and
but-
we couldn't breathe. We were so high, the walls were coming in.
Amazing.
We're like, let's go to the Liberace Museum. Ironically, like it'll be hilarious.
right in Vegas.
Yeah, it's like it's right by the pyramid. We can walk it. It's like we walk for 3 hours, like 115 degrees.
Yeah, because Vegas is an illusion. The whole fucking place, everything's so big. Oh, that's right there. It's right there.
And we got there. The air conditioner was preset to 66. I almost said miles per hour degrees. So like I'm just sweating high. I'm just high as fuck. I'm just sweating, oppressive. And I open, whoosh, the air conditioning hits me. I'm like, this is already the greatest entertainer of all time. Like the air conditioning is what sold me.
You
not
just
the
fell
piano.
in love with Liberace.
I'm like, oh my God, he's so cool. He's so cold inside.
It's awesome.
What's the name?
He's
of
comfortable.
That? Happy, right?
That's happy and a lot.
Oh man, you guys got to go
That's a
watch
good
that
title.
one. It is so.
Yeah,
That's
it
on
is
my
a good
son's preschool report card. They would say mood, and lady wrote happy. And they would write lunch, and she would check yes and write and a lot. So happy and a lot. Because
Happy and a
he's
lot.
a house.
Yeah.
He's 8 years old and he's 110 pounds.
Wow.
He's a
We
big
have
kid. He's a
we have a
house.
nephew like that.
He's a biggin.
Yeah, we have a nephew like that.
We have a
Fully
nephew
believe-
that's the size of a full-grown adult man. It just
He's
looks
5.
weird to see him in a car seat. He's 5. He wears a 14.
Car seat.
It basically,
got out of the
it looks
car
like he's
seat
wearing
2
a.
years
He
ago.
looks like he's wearing a skateboard helmet on his ass. That's how big he is.
My
He's like,
brother-
why are you in a car seat? There's
My
no
brother's
point.
a federal agent, so he's very about rules. And so it's still by law he needs, because he's only, and so he's in a car seat, but it gets stuck on him. I mean, he's a big, big boy.
Looks like Brad.
Yeah, he does.
When are you out of a car seat? when are you supposed
10
to?
or 80 pounds?
Yeah, he's time.
So
It's
my,
time.
well
so my
past
son's
that.
108 pounds.
He's out.
We're past it. But
He's been out.
My brother wants to meet both criteria. He's not 10 yet, so.
Brother's a know-it-all.
He
Tell him I said to chill
Can,
out.
can, do you, can
Federal
I,
brother. Federal brother, chill out.
Can I ask what happened with the second divorce?
Same thing.
Yeah, I mean, but like, what? I mean, here's the thing. I'm always stunned. Here's what I've learned as I gotten older. Someone has got to be crazy. Relationships don't end because both people. I did a joke in the show. They don't end because people get along fine. They have about the same level of success. Everything's going well, and there's no rehab. Those people end up buying a motorhome and die on it in a campground up in the mountains. That's what happens to those
Matching
people.
Yorkies.
Yeah, exactly. We have York. We have matching Yorkies.
Yorkie party.
Yeah, we heard
Do
about
you
yours.
still have Mabel?
Yeah. That was the best.
Everywhere we go, it would be the week right after you,
Yep.
and we would bring Chaplin and Abbott. Now we have Chaplin and Groucho, and everyone would say, "Oh my God, Mabel was just here last week," and our dogs are both their boys, and they would sniff the
Yeah,
floor.
they
for
know.
an
They
They
hour.
know. They know your dog.
They
Did
know
you name it
Mabel.
Abbott just so you could go, Abbott?
Yes,
so you could
we
yell
did.
Abbott?
Yeah,
We did.
yeah.
Abbott!
We actually, Abbott was Abbott Knots Carlin, and then we had a Chaplin Ball Cosby, but then we changed it to Pryor because Cosby got rapey. Which is weird.
He didn't get
Which is
rapey.
weird when you
I'd
think
like
about
to
Richard.
finger you in your vagina.
But you won't know it because you're on the roof and down and you're laying.
Jim Jefferies had one of the best lines on the Mohr Stories podcast ever. And he goes, if you wake up and Bill Cosby's cock is in your hand, that's not your worst day. That's all he said. I was like, holy smokes.
He should be a therapist. What an interesting
That's not
insight.
your worst day. I'm sorry.
Jim Jefferies is really good too.
If you wake up and Bill Cosby's cock is in your hand, that's not your worst day.
He can do anybody instantly. It's weird to watch.
Well, if I can't do it, I also cannot do it instantly.
yeah, but
If I try to do an Australian accent now, I'll just fucking
No,
bottom
right,
out.
if you
But
don't
that was
just launch into
that
it.
was just Jim in that one sentence.
yeah, but I have that way. Like she'll say sometimes I'll just because I do a lot of impressions, but I just do them like the TV's on and I'll just launch into it. And she's like,
Yeah.
"How do you do on that?" And I go, and I,
You don't know.
and I start to think, and then they're gone.
You don't know how
Can't
you're
do
doing
it.
it.
Say,
It's just-
couldn't do it now.
Yeah, you don't know how.
No, just
No,
launch in, keep going.
It's like the Galaga beam, the video game Galaga. You
Yeah.
just in line.
Yeah.
You just get in line.
So what happened with the second one? Let me unless you don't talk about it.
Well, I do a joke on stage where I go, in every relationship, someone changes. Ideally, you both change together, step by step.
Which we've been
together
doing. We've been doing.
till you become the ideal couple. But I've been divorced twice. I know that's fucking impossible.
So far,
So far,
impossible. So far.
So one of you changes from the moment you met to right this moment. One of you is a completely different person. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It's not the guy. It's that asshole is the same knight in shining armor you met. The same reason you're never going to settle again. This is the reason I'm never going to settle.
Right.
And we don't know as guys when we go from man of your dreams to annoying toddler that bugs the shit out of you every day.
Where every sentence you can see the twitch. Like I
You
just
come home,
I
it's like,
just said
oh,
a
great.
word.
Like, and this is just bits. Like, you go to a party with your boyfriend. It's like, Michelle, meet my boyfriend Anthony. You can talk to him. No, that's cheese for everybody. You can have it. Like, same party, married. Like, it's cheese, Anthony. You remember him? Ugh.
It's
I'm gonna be
this-
very
this
truncated.
cheese eating fuck.
Yes, but he likes cheese. Like, women change. Like, you have eyelashes on top of your eyelashes. Like, that's, you get ready for bed. You go away. You do weird things. I don't know. But you hit on it. Like, nobody gets married to get divorced, Christopher. Like,
No.
Nobody gets married goes, well, if it goes bad, I'll live in a fucking shitbox apartment in North
Right.
Hollywood.
And give you all my money.
And then, and I'll let her just tell people that something that didn't happen happened instead, an alternate reality of what actually went down.
Right.
And people will believe it. And I have to convince myself I don't care, but it still bugs the shit out of me daily.
That
Amen, brother.
she's lived with it for
Yes.
13 years. Like when I say I went through divorce, she also went through divorce because it's been a nightmare. The best thing that ever happened. I started telling this story on stage. So I told a judge off finally when the judge.
It's so unlike you.
It's very Titus-esque.
Stop. I hate that I have this reputation because I think I'm a pretty nice guy, but I'm
You
obviously.
told off a judge. Post reputation.
I obviously no. Here's it was over. So basically,
You
what had
thought
happened was is that she lied about when you have kids. And you usually have a good parent and a bad parent. One parent is it's the Manchurian candidate all the time. They're just and like I say in the show, I go, the kids would show up. We had them week to week, and it was like we had to deprogram a Scientologist every Monday. We'd have to just hold on, we're not going to kill, cook, and eat you. We're not going to do it, And which is a callback to something else. So basically, the judge said, well, you swore at your son and you admitted that in court. It's verbal abuse. They get to live with their mother now. And I was like, my dad should get the death penalty. Really? Verbal abuse? So I said, Your Honor, can I say something on the record? And he said, do you need to? Because he obviously got that I was Titus-esque. And I just told him off. I said, this is ridiculous. I go, I've raised these kids half the time for 13 years. Taught them how to ride a bike. I go, I'm the only one that puts honesty in their brains. I go, my amazing wife, she takes care of them. She taught them how to cook. I go, this is ridiculous. And I go, and you know what? You're a fucking real estate attorney. That's what I said because I'd done research on the judge. And then I kind of was like, oh shit, I think I went too far. And he said, are you done? I said, yeah. He said, okay, kids live with her now. And so that's what happened. And when you say, yeah,
Let's go tune him up.
Yeah, I know. But when you say, well, he's off the bench now because I went to.
That's a perfect time to tune him up.
I went to this thing after.
That's how I handle my business.
There's a thing called a judicial review. Like you can go line up. I
Did
can't
you
say
just say?
judicial. God damn it.
Judicial.
Yeah, that's by the
What
way.
was the line the guy had that couldn't say in your movie?
Why you not want to be my friend no more now?
Yeah.
Why you not want to be my friend no more now?
Why
No,
you
add
never not
add judicial
want
into
friend
that.
now?
Why you not want to be my friend no more? Judicial now.
You see, fuck, that's why you're a good actor. That's why Christopher Walken was like, I like what you do.
Of course. Now, after you told the judge to go fuck himself, I'm sure your future was rosy.
So I walk out.
Right.
Yeah, brilliant.
To be clear, she did not get the kids based on the judge's ruling because you swore.
The
No,
judge
she'd
made his
already-
ruling, and then
done.
he added it in.
And then I
the
was
judge
It was
reiterated the
added,
ruling.
but the judge refused to look at our evidence. We brought evidence that proved that she was lying about it.
And her evidence was
Isn't
falsified.
that amazing?
I
You're
know.
watching a judge with a stack
Yes.
of fucking
Yeah,
papers.
did you read that?
I had sworn statements under penalty of perjury that, like, a preschool teacher, two preschool teachers, the pediatrician, a dentist, had never seen the mom.
Yeah.
Right.
A fucking pediatrician has no idea who this mystical person is.
Right.
And they're just right there on the judge's
Didn't look at it.
Just look at it, you fucking.
He said, "Why won't you look at it?" And he said, "I just find her to be more credible."
Yeah, and she filed for bankruptcy 3 years ago because she was spending money. So we had
Yeah, I'm
four.
about to file, so who cares about that?
We had four. Because,
22
no,
grand
you
a
did it
month.
because you did it because someone drugged you. She had all the money in the world and still had to do it. You got
Oh, she's an idiot.
you're getting
She's a
drugged,
real
right?
dummy.
So here's what happened. So we had four witnesses. One was a major from the Army, was with us the weekend this happened.
No, retired
Army
Army
colonel,
colonel in
and then we had-
intelligence.
and then we had
yeah.
Major
Navy
from
SEAL.
the Army,
Navy SEAL.
retired
Same
military.
thing.
Navy SEAL,
Same difference.
and a registered nurse. These are my relatives. Were with us when this supposedly went down, and they testified. And they're just like, yeah, whatever. So I said, Your Honor, I'll never be in this courtroom again. Thank you. And I walked out. So I'm like, never going back. Good kids will be the
I hope
kids.
the judge went like this. Ooh, burn.
Yeah, he did. He said, you got me. But this judicial review thing I wrote. So I wrote 4 paragraphs exactly what had happened. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but the guy. So here's what happened. So 3 months later, she takes me back for more child support, and I'm like, oh fuck, because I had to go back in this judge's court now.
Good.
Yeah. Well, here's how bad it was. I hated court so much because court was like, I get nervous just gambling. Court is like you've got this big wheel of idiot that the judge, you never know what they're going to say. You could have all the we've both learned. You can have all the evidence in the world. Be very clear, people. You know you're right. You have the proof. Doesn't matter. If that judge got pissed, his wife pissed him off that day, you're done. Or you're going to win, depending.
When the gavel drops, it's over.
Yeah, we never
it's
knew.
over.
It was just like, oh shit, here is visitation, yay! So what happened was that I go back and I break out. This would happen. I break out in hives. Here's how bad my ex is. Book the court date.
On my birthday.
Nice.
Like, wow, that's Joker level villain, right?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
That makes me
I
wanna
like
meet
the
her.
respect you have.
I want to meet her. That sounds like crazy.
You
pussy.
love damage.
You were not allowed to meet her. You've already proven you
No,
have a poor
you wanna-
choosing ability. We would like to maybe vet the next
Yeah, we
woman.
would. Yeah, you need to put us
sure.
through a filter.
'Cause
I got 4
he's
people.
got a great crazy detector because of his mom. I mean, he knows.
That's good to know.
I even knew when I was married to her that I was crazy. So here's what happened. So we have to go back to court. I break out in hives. I'm on the way to court. I got sued on hives because I know I'm getting in front of this judge. And the weird thing, we had 5 judges walk up to the thing to sign in, and the
Politburo?
we had one bailiff through 13 years. 1 bailiff, 5 judges. Same guy. So same guy. Everything walks up to me, and I go,
Rusty.
and I go, hey, I go, wow. I go, I'll see how this goes today. And the guy looked me right in the eye, and he goes, just be you, bro.
The bailiff?
Yeah.
Just right in
He
front.
liked
That
it.
means he dug you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever happened. So then I'm sitting there, and we're half an hour late. The judge isn't coming out. We don't know what's going on. And I look up, and I go, is that the guy's name? It's not the guy's name. New judge comes out. He doesn't even start with me. He's like, Mr. Titus, I'll get to you in a minute. Let's talk about your evidence. And he just goes after my
He
ass.
started late because he was reading all the evidence that I attached. He actually read the evidence, like her LAPD forgery case that when she embezzled all of his money, or all of
I had some forgery on mine, too.
Oh, the
Really?
forged
Never
checks
got
for the
one.
kids' school. She asked us to send her that we were paying for half the kids' school. She said,
Forged
I
check for
touched you again. I
Vicodin
touched
on my
you again.
side.
Sorry.
you keep touching him. You
I
gotta
know.
stop.
No, I didn't even notice.
It's very
I
petty.
just said it the one time as a joke. Honestly, I swear to God, I didn't even notice. It's a non-issue.
Handsy.
Yeah, Manzi. I like Jay.
You little Cosby.
So
Jay Moore handsy.
I like that.
So she had actually forged checks for the kids' school. It was bad, and he read it all, and we barely even talked to me, huh? He just
Yeah,
basically the IRS form was all nothing added up. She'd been claiming the kids,
She
both kids on
falsified
her
tax
for 8
returns.
years. So
Oh, that's bye-bye.
So
Yeah.
he goes,
That's Capone.
he goes, I
Yes.
could do something right here. He goes, but I'm gonna let the IRS deal with that. And then he said, if you bring him back one more time, I'm fining you. And it was crazy. It flipped everything. But that's the problem with court. You don't
He'll
know
be
what's
gone
gonna
soon.
happen. Yeah. New judge will be in next week. They'll bring someone else in. I'll be
Forging a
back.
check for school would have been an upgrade for me.
Really?
As opposed to Vicodin?
Yeah. That's what she was doing?
No, who knows?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So we can't say for sure. This is a story.
I was doing an impression.
Yeah.
It was an impression of a
All right, maybe not forge my name. Just check for Vicodin, you know?
So
Go right, it's Colin Q.
Who does Colin Quinn? That's
Jay
another
Morris.
thing.
Jay Moore
Nobody
does
does
this.
Colin Quinn.
What do you do? Divorce. When you take the high road, just live in a yurt. Okay.
But here's what you did. You nailed Colin Quinn. Just these phrases
That's my favorite
that
impression.
kind
I
of
have to
barely... You can just
with
keep
Colin,
rambling.
like, you have to think like Colin. Like, we do Dennis Miller, you got to think like Dennis Miller.
Right.
To do Norm. That's why I only like doing it, the story that happened to me,
Right.
because I don't want to, like, make up material for
Right.
them. Or do their material.
So when you grab an impression, let's go
So,
through
like
this.
Colin, you can say the most obscure. Hold that thought. Like, you're like, that's why Chris is in course, waiting to be up next, reading the Canterbury Tales by Chaucer. Like, I would never say Canterbury Tales by Chaucer myself ever. Like, you would never
Yeah,
say
he
by
would,
Chaucer
yeah.
about the Canterbury Tales. But with him, somehow it just works.
She says that there's a character named Willie Johnson, and he's this black character, and she goes, "You say stuff. He says stuff you've never
I've
said."
known him for 13 years.
'Cause that's who the guy
he
would
doesn't
say.
have
That's right,
street
that's who he is.
knowledge like this.
You're reporting who, but he does, because he met somebody in his life at some point that was this person,
It's insane.
and he's reporting back what he knows as that person.
Willie knows about crack dealing.
Like,
and
we're just calling him Willie at this point.
Willie Jello Johnson. Willie hasn't. He did Willie.
There's always room for Jello.
I love this guy. I
So
remember him from my
he
podcast.
yes, and nobody knew that he was not. Nobody knew that he was
Yeah,
doing.
we did
him
it for 4 or
2
5 years, and people would show up to gigs because we weren't on
Where's
video.
Willie?
to meet
People
Willie.
show up to, girls would show up to gigs and go, "Is Willie here?" And what I would do is I would introduce
Girls.
I swear to
girls.
dude,
Crack
shaking.
dealer.
shaking to meet him.
And he was he sold
He sold Breck's milk.
he sold Breck's milk.
Sure.
I sold some breakfast. I used to run, down in Venice, or they had all the guys working at Muscle Beach. What I would do was I would get all the Breck's milk. I would sell it to them.
Say what now?
Yeah, Breck's milk.
Oh, okay. What's Breck's milk?
Breast milk.
breast milk.
Oh, breast milk.
But Willie says Breck's.
Breck's milk. Like, I asked you a
He
question.
would just fuck words up, and so what happened was at one point it got to the point where girls were showing, "Oh, is Willie here?" Because I would introduce her off stage as Willie
Please welcome.
from the Titus podcast, and it got to the point where I started getting feeling like, this is it I crossed the line where I was like, is this racist? I wasn't sure. So in the middle of one podcast, I just kept doing it.
Who says he's black?
And exactly. Thank you. You're racist if you think he is.
Right.
That's awesome.
Big Mama got it all. I
Thank
go like,
you very
what do you
much.
mean? What makes you think she's black?
That's a good point.
Oh, okay.
Good point.
Say what now?
Did you see that movie? That movie that they released? LaQuisha?
A little vague.
No, LaQuisha. Yeah, you know that one. No, LaQuisha.
Oh, yeah.
You knew what I was. You would have known.
The big game. Did you see the big game?
Here's the thing.
Hey, Chris, did you see the big game last night?
Here's what Trump has done for us. Here's what Trump has done.
LaQuisha, no, I didn't see it, but I remember when it came out.
Holy
everyone was like up in
shit!
arms.
Holy
I'm just
shit!
mad I wasn't LaQuisha.
You'd have been.
Oh!
You'd have made it likable. It wasn't likable at all. Still would have been racist as fuck.
That's too bad. My titties itch. Where's my daughter asthma? So when's the Prince party?
April. So April 20th,
I
right
gotta
around
wait
April.
that long. That's after winter, after my designed fucking leather coat.
We're doing a big
Carbon
you're getting one.
footprint,
And we're
combustion
doing a big Christmas party here too. We turn it into a nightclub at Christmas too. That's this new this year. So any ideas? Let us know.
Just let us skanks.
It's Dr. Seuss.
You have to
themed.
invite some of your friends. He said a lot of skanks.
There'll be a lot. All my friends are skank. We all
Invite the whole crew.
the posse.
Pigs.
Well, dude,
Yeah.
thank you for doing the podcast. We usually do a new segment right now.
Let me just say, by the way, go to jmohr.com.
Yes.
And you can go and see he's going to be coming up. Oh, you're doing Irvine.
When's this air? It's for
Friday.
Yeah, Irvine Improv. Come see me.
Tonight,
creeps.
tomorrow, and Sunday, right? Is that Friday? You're
That's
doing
correct.
Friday through Sunday. And then you're going to be doing Nyack. Love these. San Antonio. He's got a bunch of dates coming up. So go check those out. Also, Life Coach. You can click on Life Coach on his website.
I'm sorry.
CoachJJ37@gmail.com.
Really? What is this?
Just help people get unstuck, man.
Love
Really?
This is-
100% success
Who
rate.
helps you?
Why? That's the thing, isn't it? That's the rub. You can spot other people's blind spots, but don't see your own blind spots.
That's true. Yeah,
This
yeah.
is what how Jefferies speaks about you. So I wasn't surprised when I saw that on there. I mean, this is
So
I
as a
love him
life
so
coach.
much.
As a
Me too.
life. Oh, Jeffries.
He came
already-
from Malibu. He just made
He's
a
my
special
brother.
trip.
I picked him up twice from your house to take
Oh,
him
yeah?
out.
Yeah. He
So
was.
Corey picked me up twice today.
He has someone that drives him around with no
Well,
shoes
no.
on.
So how do you do? Yeah, exactly.
I had a
In
dead battery.
pajamas.
By the way, I don't normally have a driver. I had a dead battery on a stupid Lincoln.
Got a question.
Oh, this
So I got
is
a question.
Not an everyday thing.
No, this is like I'll be
Oh.
there as soon as I can from Thousand Oaks to Malibu thing.
Yeah, by the way,
right
thanks for
away.
coming all the way out here. I know this is like I don't know if we're this good of friends. You want to come podcast? Where is it? North Hollywood? Really? We're not this good of friends.
When my car didn't start, I went, fuck it. And then I went to bed to take a nap. And then Corey woke me up and said, come on, stupid.
Good. Thank you.
They
for
said I
doing
got
that,
the come
man.
on,
Thank
stupid
you.
from Corey.
You know, it's funny. I know you. I
I
wasn't
just
gonna.
pictured you seething. With
No, I
rage,
wasn't
like,
gonna let it go.
Fucking
No.
Jay Mohr.
No, you needed some support. So I was like, let's get Jay here anyway. So let me ask you something. I'm advice.
So fuck
life
your
coach.
shoes. Go pick them up.
I need
Yes.
some life coach stuff. All right. So
And let me just say, I already saw you do it with him. You nailed him when did you notice that? You got a little uncomfortable when he
was
described what
squirming.
he saw in you. He wasn't he?
Yeah.
compliments are not good.
It
at
wasn't
all.
even compliments. He was sort of looking into your soul. It was like, I know him, and it was so dead on. I was like, wow.
That I'm a giant heart.
That's
That
where he
part?
started. That was the beginning.
Yeah, right.
That's all you got?
I said it snotty
He
too. I'm
covered-
like, what? I'm a giant heart.
Yeah.
I said it like
What, I love more
Hey,
than most people, so I hurt more than most people?
So I feel a lot. Hey, fuck you. I'm sorry I said that.
Yeah, you know what? What do you want me to say? I love you? You know what? I love you,
So I got a
man.
question. I've been having a problem with something lately. How show business? Okay, there's a point where you're like, you've done all this work, you have this reputation, you have this background. This is what I have.
You have an expectation hangover.
Yes, I do. I not even expectation.
Oh.
I
You
know.
have to finish. I'm like, no, you just...
I know what I'm capable
If I show
of.
the 16-year-old Christopher where you are right now, you do fucking cartwheels down the high school hallway.
Amen.
That's true.
But you have this thing that only you've put up on like a drive-in movie theater screen
Right.
of like how everything's supposed. I'm the same way. How everything's supposed to work out and where we're supposed to be.
Right.
And we're so far deep into that fucking matrix of that druid of the how'd you call it? The circular walls.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. We're so
But what was
far.
the word
right.
you used? Circular. There's not circular. There's
Concentric.
a word. Concentric.
It's a bunch of concentric circles. Yeah.
Jay Mohr, concentric.
I like that. Too.
Well, yeah, but they didn't want a dictionary though. These people.
Oh, that's
I didn't
right.
name my fucking comedy special concentric.
No, I'm like, you can't kibosh.
Titus,
you can't
Christopher
kibosh-
Titus, concentric. You think
You
people?
can't kibosh liminal and then get concentric.
I'm not kiboshing. I'm just saying. You make
You
sure you put the.
kibosh it.
Jay Mohr, no shoes required.
There you
Wow.
go.
That would work.
That one stinks. Just call it straight up. Well, I think it's just the expectation of like where we should be gets in our. You didn't finish your question in all fairness.
No, you go. I'm a comic, so you know where it was going anyway.
Yeah, like what the fuck? That's how I'm thinking right now. Like what? Not right now because I'm here.
Yeah.
But this is one of the things that are great. it's just like, what's going on? Like, just what's going on is we're not present when we're thinking about that.
Right.
We're always in the future. Like, if you're in the past, you're angry. If you're in the future, you're nervous. And if you're right here, you're pretty good. So guys like you and me, we have a hard time being right here. I'm kind of become a bit of more of a master at it. That's why, like, the only thing that bothers me, as Corey said, is leaving my house. That's my pet peeve, is leaving.
Going anywhere? That bothers me.
Like, I'm pretty good at right now.
Right.
And right now I was really good.
Well, you live in Malibu. I mean, it's really not a hard
nice,
place
bro.
to
It's
be
nice.
bad at.
Leaving Malibu is brutal.
It is, you know.
I can't imagine being one of those Airbnb people, like, on a Sunday night packing up their shit and just going back to fucking Winosha, Wisconsin. I'd rather just fucking die.
By the way, I'm going to be playing with Nosha in about 4 weeks, and I'd like to apologize straight up for what Jay just said.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to double down on you fuckers. You fat cheese ass fucks.
Great.
Fuck and Oshkosh. And that goes for fucking Green Bay bitches too. Fuck y'all.
He actually doubled down.
Respect
and
it.
added to
Triple down.
Yo,
Actually,
respect to Madison though. What's up?
Madison is
yeah.
awesome.
Respect to Madison,
is
son.
awesome.
Respect, man. Respect.
All right, let's go with the news. Now, from sea to shining sea, continent to continent, and sometimes space, it's Bombshell Ray bringing you the Bombshell news.
No noise.
We need to do an interstitial piece. We're going to do a piece for this.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, all right. I used to do that.
It's a hell of a war.
I've done
Y'all talk about death? Y'all experts?
that's the
I'd like
the
to hear about it, potheads.
So the Canadian police have live streamed a press conference on Facebook. It was about a double homicide, and they had a spokesman for the Royal Canadian Mounted Police of BC. They had what they called technical difficulties when they live streamed it. They had the cat filter accidentally on the spokesperson, and
talking about a double homicide.
the whole time that she was talking about a double homicide, I'm going to try and show you guys.
That's an old SCTV bit.
She
That's
had the whiskers and the ears.
God.
Okay, people, we'll put this up on the screen.
Leave it to Canadians to find a reason to make double homicide worth it. That's worth the double homicide.
That is.
I'm sorry.
I'm sad. I'm sad for the people, but wow,
I'm sorry
it was
your
awesome.
niece and nephew were murdered in their sleep, but
Two
did you
people
see the
were
news?
murdered
The presentation
on an
was
Alaskan
phenomenal.
highway, and she got up to
Oh, who's gonna
announce
miss
that.
them?
That's a good point. And yeah,
There's a killer on the road.
Yeah, you were on an Alaskan highway. You're going to get murdered. That's
Yes,
where people
that's
get
why you
murdered.
go there.
Yeah, exactly.
Who were they
You're
on the
done.
way to
You're
murder?
done.
They were going to murder somebody.
So, at what point someone had to see this going on? Someone to be watching on a monitor somewhere, going, fuck it, leave it. Just leave it. Just shut up. Just leave it.
Probably there's somebody in house.
Yeah, someone was in the control room
amazing,
going, because that's not an accident. That doesn't, you're not in a television production studio going, hey, did someone leave the cat filter on? We use it all the time. Oh shit, this is a murder thing.
Yeah,
How
like
the hell did you
they've
get
never used a cat filter ever.
ever? On any, like that.
Somebody like probably was fired or was resigning
Exactly.
and on their way out.
Steve, you're gone on Friday. Sorry. But, by the way,
not a
you know
problem.
what? You've been
Meow.
so good. Stay till Friday and just, do your normal stuff. We're good.
Just do the Facebook stuff. That's all we need you for. The rest of the week.
they have taught SEALs in Scotland how to sing A New Hope from the Star Wars theme song.
Wow.
Not thing song. These SEALs can sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but right now what they're singing to get more popularity is the Star Wars theme song. I feel like Fetus would be super excited about this.
So basically the SEALs had an album out where they were killing it with Twinkle Twinkle, and then the sales dropped off, and their concert,
their
their live
second
shows started
album.
dropping off. So we need a new fucking song. for
Yeah.
the
More
SEALs.
popularity for what? To what game?
Yeah, exactly. That's when she said, well, I'm like, what were they booking gigs? Did Live Nation go, hey guys, the Twinkle Twinkle thing was killing it, but your numbers have dropped. We're not going to promote you anymore.
Christopher, I'm sorry, boss, but I got the SEALs coming in next week. They're
That was my
singing.
manager for a while.
They're singing with Stevie Wonder, Hotter Than July, cover to cover.
Do you know Brad did Barry Katz last week? Was it last week?
Oh,
Brad did it for like 10 minutes. It was insane. He said it's the only
Undeniable,
impression
man.
he can do.
Undeniable.
Undeniable, Papa.
The rowboat story, the rowboat thing is funny. Take your 5 bits. Take your 5
I thought
Just
he
throw
wrote
'em
that
in
for
the
me.
ocean. Just throw them in the ocean.
You know
Which
it
one
too?
Which bits are you going to save? You can only save one bit. What's the greatest? Every question he ever has is the most fucking convoluted question. I had Dennis Eckersley on my radio show, former closer for the Red Sox and A's, and he goes, what's the greatest advice you ever received, and what happened when you actually utilized that advice, and how did you see that advice when it came to light after being utilized as helpful to pass along to others? And Dennis Eckersley goes, "Jeez."
Yeah, I'm loading the gun at that. But, you know, man, I can't.
I thought he said that just to me. Turns out now we know of 3
But
people.
that's.
So the Seals have albums?
They have a song.
They don't have
singles.
albums
They have singles.
yet.
They don't have albums. They have a
Like,
single.
what's the revenue like where they have to get more popularity?
They're at the Scottish Oceans Institute. And
Here's
maybe
the
not
thing.
enough people are coming
Well,
to
here's
the
the problem. I
Institute.
used some of the music
Not
from
that
one of my
many people-
YouTube
people in
YouTube
Scotland.
videos, and YouTube shut it down. It was copyrighted. They copyrighted the Twinkle Twinkle thing. So the Seals they really track their media. So
Hey, Seals, public domain. Get with it.
yeah, exactly.
I'm feeling lucky today. Public domain. Have at it.
Yeah, is it really?
Yeah. Happy birthday. Not.
Not at all.
It's in the credits of every movie it's ever in.
By the way, right now you can go and get straws. You can buy them from our president. It's to show that you stand with President Trump. You can use his special laser engraved plastic straws at just $15 for a pack of 10 plus shipping.
Wait, why straws? What am I missing?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, what is that
So
for
I can
exactly?
snort fucking coke off a
It-
dead prostitute.
Well,
and I
there you go,
realized I
porn
just-
star. Yeah, bro. Yeah, by the way, I think you
was.
nailed it.
When I realized I just,
By the way, when you're
Oh.
snorting off a porn star, this is excellent. Donald Trump straw. You can be me as you're being me.
It's their response to paper straws, which they associate with liberals.
That's a
They
long
don't,
road,
which
man.
actually kills
It's a thin
seals.
thread.
Hold on, let's tie
Keep
all
going.
these news stories together. What was my first story?
Oh,
which
right.
I know, I forgot it.
Which seal was which when you put the filter on the seal filter.
Then the Royal Canadian Mounted Police might make you look like a seal when they're talking about a triple homicide.
Double homicide, but okay.
into
Triple.
camera.
I doubled up.
Your dead
She leaned
eyes.
in. She just leaned in on it. That was awesome. Where are we going to perform this week, guys? We're going to be in Florida.
Florida. Yes,
Florida?
tonight.
Tonight. Yeah, we're tonight.
We will be
playing
in
in Florida?
Jacksonville. Tomorrow night we'll be at the Tampa Straws Center, and on Sunday we'll be at Tallahassee Moon Theater. So
All new show, people. 90 minutes of new stuff. Honestly, I've never had a show done this. 22 performances. I'm still on notes, and I'm getting standing ovations, which is
How the fuck do you do new 90 minutes all the time? I don't like. I'm known as a content generator. Like, I'm the nuclear sub in this bitch. Like, I don't stop as far as content. And
Yeah.
you just fucking lap me under the ice caps.
That's my job, isn't our job? By the way, that's what I love
Right.
about you too. Is that like so many comics, like, and it
Damn,
still
bro.
happens. It
Stop
still happens.
fighting.
Someone else said this. You fucking stop it. Andrew Rivers is like, dude, stop. We're all chasing
do
you.
you hear how
Stop.
much he talks? You know how many words he says and stuff? So at night, when normal people sleep, he still has that many words. And so that's when he goes into his little space and he
Why's he
writes
gotta
all
be
the
little?
words down.
Why do you emasculate it by saying little?
Exactly.
Little.
That's a little thing. Oh, look at your
Why
little
can't it
shirt.
just
He
be
goes
his
into his
giant
big
space?
room
Why can't
and
it be
writes
big
with his
fucking
big
swinging
brain.
Oh,
cock
look
of
at
a
you.
room?
Look
And
at
his
you and your
big
little
pencil.
shoes.
You gonna go do your little job?
And
Women
his
are-
big pencil, and he writes big words. But he writes
You know what? I like that. But even that sounded awful. And then he writes
I know.
big words.
with a big
Because he's a
pencil.
little, he's a little,
Big pencil
he's a
means
big
he's
boy.
retarded.
He's a big boy. Writes big words.
Big pencil means you're special.
I
Even
know,
on
you
this.
said say big.
Even on this,
You're
I write a
hilarious.
6-minute
I think he's
bit.
brilliant.
I write a 6-minute bit for this every week. So I just because I wanted to force myself to write all the time, which created this thing
I
over
dig
the
it.
last
I did it
8
for the
years.
radio show, and I liked it. I like
Yes.
being that. George Carlin was talking to a bunch of comics, and Jim Norton asked him, how does he do a new hour every year? And he goes, could you write a minute a week? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, that's an hour.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like, whoa.
Oh, right,
Ellen
yeah.
DeGeneres.
1 minute a week is an hour of material with
like how much
applause.
fucking
Yeah.
were they like? Why are you pussing out on that? Like when comics, when we go to and wait staff goes, oh, I go, who's your last? How do you go? Same fucking act. Like the
I
wait
don't
staff
get
will just
it.
correct. I don't get
20
it either.
years in.
Plus, I'd kill myself.
You're right.
I think I would
I
actually
would
kill
too.
myself.
I get that now. I hate my first show now. I hate doing it, and I've been yelled at by people
been
on
working
the road
well
for
for me.
saying that. But it's because once you evolve, and now what I want to talk about is my mom's cancer and that, because that's where my heart is now. That's
Your first show does
So-
well for me, though. So
Yeah, but what also what you used to see as brilliant because your ability was here. Your ability's here now, and now you go, oh man,
I can do
like
that.
I can't.
I like
It's not
the-
even an adjustment. That's
I like
just
the
what,
all spatial relation diagram with your hands. That's what I. That's
I
what works.
talk in graphs.
That's what works for me. I'm not joking. I really love it.
Talking graphs.
When you own a house, you have this much money. But when you own a house, the government thinks you have this much money.
And then when you get
Like,
divorced,
I get it now.
$0.
I am California public schools. I need blocks.
when we first
New
got
Jersey
together,
public schools, kiss my ass.
he would write a bit and replace a bit, and write a bit and replace a bit. And then I remember one night when you were doing Voice in My Head, it was his 5th one. He wrote like 40 minutes, and I was like, whoa. And this show, he wrote the whole thing. He wrote
That's
all
what's amazing
90.
about Christopher, though, is like when you write 90 new minutes, it's the tip of the spear sharp.
No.
Bro, I saw, yes.
No.
Yes.
Kiss my ass. You wouldn't
Yes.
show it to anybody if it wasn't the best
Standing
stuff.
ovations the first night he
Right.
read it on paper.
No. It's third night.
Shut up.
I'm about to pee my pants. I'm going to go.
Yeah, we're gonna go. No, we're gonna wrap it up. So, guys, we're gonna be in Florida this week. Jay wants to leave. I've never had a guest just say it's over because I was
That's
wrapping
not
it
what
up.
I said.
I was
I had to
wrapping it
pee
up.
my pants.
It's all right. We're gonna...
I have to keep my...
Mohr.com. Go check it out.
And by the way, get life advice. Guys, thanks for listening to the Titus podcast and watching us. Subscribe to the channel.
Everybody got Christopher Titus pregnant.
For myself, Bombshell Ray, and the amazing Jay Mohr.
Bombshell Jay, goddammit.
Later.
Peace out.
See you. Oh my God.
Go pee, for God's sakes.
Yo, everybody, this is Willie Johnson telling you to go to ChristopherTitus.com to get any of 8 comedy specials. That's right, ChristopherTitus.com to get the swag, to get the comedy, and keep supporting the podcast. Thanks for listening or watching or whatever the hell you did. All right.